It was supposed to be a day of excitement and new beginnings at Villanova University. The campus buzzed with freshmen and parents, all eager for orientation and the start of a new chapter. The community gathered for a special mass, savoring a peaceful moment before the semester. Suddenly, everything changed. At 4:30 p.m., an emergency alert flashed. Active shooter on view campus. Move to secure location. Lock barricade doors. Panic swept through the campus. Doors slammed, makeshift barricades went up, and the air filled with fear. Students, some strangers just hours before, huddled together in darkened rooms, united by terror. The sense of community was forged in crisis, not celebration. This was no drill. The threat felt real and immediate. Every sound, a siren, a footstep, became a potential danger. The beautiful campus now felt like a trap. Minutes stretched into what felt like an eternity as everyone waited in silence, desperate for news. The day's promise was shattered, replaced by a nightmare no one could have imagined. The university's alert system, designed for the gravest emergencies, had never felt more necessary. For those on campus, the world had stopped. The only thing left was to wait, hope, and pray for safety. The campus, once open and welcoming, was now locked down in fear. The community held its breath, united in uncertainty. The terror of that day would leave a mark that would not soon fade. In a crisis, fear spreads instantly, and so does information. During the Villanova lockdown, students reached for their phones, desperate to connect. Frantic texts flew to parents. "I'm hiding. I love you." Social media filled with raw, terrified posts. One freshman simply wrote, "Everyone is hiding. I'm very scared." Parents, some on campus, others miles away, were gripped by helplessness. For those present, the chaos was overwhelming. For those far away, the waiting was agony. Faculty and staff faced their own fears while trying to protect students. Professors locked doors, resident advisors checked rooms, all trying to keep calm. Leadership was demanded in a moment no one expected. Every person on campus has a story, of quick thinking, of comforting a friend, of silent dread. The human side of the crisis was everywhere. Students holding each other, strangers becoming allies. The silence was as loud as the fear. These moments, shared in real time, revealed the true impact of the threat. Behind every headline were thousands living through a nightmare. The crisis was not just a news story, it was a personal ordeal for everyone involved. The fear was real and it was everywhere. The campus would never be the same. For 90 minutes, Villanova was frozen in fear. Outside, a massive law enforcement response unfolded. Sirens, SWAT teams, officers sweeping every building. Inside, time crawled. Students scrolled for updates, rumors swirled, and uncertainty grew. Every noise, a helicopter, a phone, sparked panic. Some cried, others prayed, all waited. The campus felt like a war zone. Then a new alert. It was all a hoax. No shooter, no shots, no injuries. Relief mixed with confusion and anger. Barricades came down, but the emotional impact remained. 90 minutes of terror, all for nothing. The threat had vanished, but the scars were real. The community was left to process what had happened. The sense of safety was shattered. The day's trauma would not be easily forgotten. The cruel joke had lasting consequences. The campus was changed forever. The Villanova incident was a swatting hoax, a false report meant to trigger a massive police response. Swatting involves calling in fake emergencies, often claiming shootings or bombings, to send SWAT teams to unsuspecting victims. It's not a prank. It's a dangerous crime that puts lives at risk. Police respond with full force, believing the threat is real. Innocent people can suddenly find themselves facing armed officers. Swatting has led to injuries and even deaths across the country. Motives range from revenge to twisted entertainment, often rooted in online disputes. Schools and universities are frequent targets as swatters know these threats cause maximum panic. Swatting weaponizes emergency systems, creating chaos and fear. The Villanova hoax was a textbook example. Technology used to inflict psychological trauma. It wastes resources and erodes trust in public safety. Swatting is a modern crime with devastating consequences. Swatting is a growing crisis in the U.S. The Anti-Defamation League reports incidents rising from 400 in 2011 to over 1,000 by 2019. Schools are now prime targets. Between January 2023 and June 2024, there were over 800 swatting incidents at K-12 schools, more than one a day. Each hoax traumatizes students and teachers, forcing them into lockdowns. The FBI now tracks swatting in a national database, highlighting the scale of the problem. On the same day as Villanova, the University of Tennessee was also targeted. Swatters often coordinate multiple hoaxes to maximize chaos. These are not random acts, they're planned attacks on public safety. Swatting is now a nationwide crisis, affecting communities everywhere. The numbers tell a clear story. This is a pervasive, dangerous crime. Schools and universities are under siege from a threat that's hard to predict or prevent. Law enforcement responded to Villanova with overwhelming force, hundreds of officers, local, state, and federal, all believing the threat was real. Their mission: protect lives, neutralize danger. After the all-clear, the investigation began immediately. The Delaware County District Attorney and FBI launched a full-scale search for the perpetrator. Swatters used sophisticated tech to hide, but authorities are determined to bring them to justice. Pennsylvania's governor condemned the act, calling it every parent's nightmare, and pledged full support. The university's administration acted quickly, sending alerts, coordinating with police, and canceling events. Their focus shifted from orientation to safety and care for a shaken community. Public support from leaders was crucial for healing. The response showed the seriousness of the threat and the resolve to fight back. The community needed reassurance that they were not alone. The investigation continues, with a promise: this crime will not go unpunished. The show of force was matched by a show of support. Relief came when the lockdown ended, but the trauma lingered. For freshmen, their first college memory was fear, not excitement. Parents endured 90 minutes of terror, a feeling that doesn't fade with the all-clear. Faculty and staff were victims too, responsible for others while facing their own fears. The sense of safety and trust on campus was shaken. These are the invisible wounds of swatting: anxiety, mistrust, and a shadow over daily life. Villanova recognized the need for healing, making mental health a top priority. Recovery means more than resuming classes. It requires acknowledging trauma and offering support. The psychological harm is real and must be addressed. The community's path forward depends on care and understanding. Healing takes time, but it starts with recognizing the scars. The false alarm left deep marks that will take time to fade. Stopping swatting requires tougher laws. For years, false emergency calls were treated as minor offenses, misdemeanors that didn't match the harm caused. Now, there's a push to make swatting a felony, especially when it triggers a major police response. In Pennsylvania, a new bill aims to increase penalties and hold swatters financially responsible for the cost of emergency responses. The message: swatting is not a prank, and the consequences will be severe. Federal action is also underway, recognizing swatting as a national problem. Stronger laws and better resources can help track and prosecute offenders, especially those operating across state lines. The goal is clear: make swatting too risky for anyone to attempt. Lawmakers want to ensure the punishment fits the crime. Only then can we hope to deter this dangerous trend. The fight for justice is just beginning. After the terror, healing began at Villanova. The day after the hoax, the university held a special blessing on the campus green, a moment of unity and hope. Mental health resources were made available, and safe spaces created for students to share and process their experiences. The message: it's okay to not be okay, and support is here. Education about swatting helps demystify the event and reduce fear. Emergency plans are being reviewed to improve communication and safety. The goal is to empower the community and restore a sense of control. Resilience is built through knowledge, preparation, and solidarity. The spirit of Villanova is stronger than any hoax. Healing means refusing to let fear win. The campus remains a place of hope, learning, and community. By coming together, the community can emerge even stronger. No act of cruelty can silence their strength.